Welcome to College Compass by experts at scholarship.org. For the past 43 years, the staff at the George Snow Scholarship Fund and scholarship.org have dedicated themselves to empowering young people and ensuring that they have access to the resources they need to succeed in their educational journeys. In each episode, we'll sit down with experts to provide practical advice that will help our students overcome challenges, thrive, and maximize their college experience. My name is Tim Snow, and I'm president of the George Snow Scholarship Fund and scholarship.org.
And my name is Shannon Elwood. I'm the Director of Communications for the George Snow Scholarship Fund, but I also bring years of experience working closely with college students throughout their educational journeys.
In today's episode, we're diving into the world of internships, how to find them, prepare for them, and ultimately secure valuable internships that can help our students gain real-world experience in their chosen field of study. Joining us for this conversation is Chloe Bradigan, Talent Acquisition Manager at Enterprise Mobility. Chloe works directly with college students as they pursue her company's internship program, giving her a front row seat on this whole process that we're about to talk about. And Chloe, we want to really welcome you for being here today. We appreciate you coming
Welcome.
and sharing your expertise with us and with our listeners. You're with Enterprise Mobility, which I think we all know formally as Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Yeah, that's one of our divisions.
Okay, and the Enterprise is definitely my go-to car rental company. Just used you guys on a recent trip up to Asheville, North Carolina, and find you guys to be very, very efficient and always get a good, nice, clean car at a very reasonable price. So really do appreciate you being here. Tell us a little bit about your role and with the internship program that you have and your experience with that.
Yeah. So let's start here. So I work obviously for Enterprise Mobility. Now, if you know anything about our program, we actually do everybody that you're going to meet here. Our CEO at the very top, all 90,000 employees start as a management trainee. Now, I'm glad to hear that you had a great experience because we definitely pride ourselves on customer service is like the number one thing, as well as car cleanliness. I think when you go to Enterprise, what you might be going for is that total experience of a great customer service experience. And of course, a nice vehicle, that's what you're renting. Now, when we all go to Enterprise through our program as a management trainee, we start in the Enterprise Rent-A-Car division. So I guess just to give you like a little bit of a backstory on me, I started my Enterprise career in December of 2020. I did hear about our company on campus, but really what got me to pursue Enterprise as a career was I was an employee referral. So somebody that I knew through college, worked for Enterprise freshly after graduation, was like, you have to go through this program. You're going to learn customer service, sales, marketing, business operations. And hey, like eventually once you complete this 8-month program, you're going to get the opportunity to go into a division that you actually want to pursue. So we have 9 different business lines where we all start as in that daily rental career. And then you'd have the opportunity to go into like HR, logistics, B2B sales, car sales, truck rental, accounting, finance, IT, HR, which is how I found talent acquisition. Now, I did not do the internship. That's one of my biggest Enterprise regrets, and I'll go back into that later. But I did know I wanted to be in recruiting. I loved like the hunt to find top talent. And I lived a very short career before COVID in that industry. And so that's what I knew I wanted to do. So I did that 8-month program, learning business operations, helping customers, really got great at customer service and sales in that process. And then at my 8 months, you take an assessment, testing your knowledge of the business, and then you have the opportunity to go into management. So I was a manager at about 4 different branches, worked my way up from like a small fleet, and then I eventually got the opportunity in 3 months to promote from there. So bigger, more leadership, more responsibility, more money, of course. And so I did that about 4 times, and then by the grace of the Enterprise gods, talent acquisition opened up at my 2-year, 2-month mark with the company. I did start my career in Ohio. And so when I got that promotion, our regional office there is in Cleveland, Ohio. And so the company helped me pack my bags and move me to Cleveland. And I was recruiting for all of Northern Ohio for about a year and a half. So essentially over to the Indiana to the Pennsylvania border. I did that. I rocked it. I absolutely loved meeting with people on campus. And then I had this opportunity about a year ago, so last September, which is crazy to think, this opportunity in South Florida opened up. And when you apply for internal promotions, everybody, starts at the same level. So everybody gets an equal playing field. I applied against a couple other people in the company, and I was obviously awarded the position. And so with that, the company moved me down to South Florida. And so now I've been recruiting for all of South Florida, all the way up to Vero Beach, Sebastian area. And then I go all the way down to like North Fort Lauderdale, Pompano area. So I've been doing that for about a year. I absolutely love what I do. And I would love to share more about, what we have to offer.
That sounds great. It's very interesting. It sounds like your internship program is probably one of the most robust that I've experienced in the business community, and you guys really use it as your tool to recruit your
Yeah.
managers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the case for a lot of the companies. That's why they have an internship program, right?
Yeah.
And you bring up I think a very interesting point in that, it might be a car rental company or a transportation company, a mobility company, but there's so many different areas within a major corporation that students can to learn about, whether it's accounting, marketing, all those things that you mentioned.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important for students to know and to realize when they start looking for internships that, well, you might think that, if you have an accounting background, well, what's that got to do with rent a car? Well,
Right.
we all need
Right.
accountants, right? So I think that's an important point to make for our listeners.
Yeah. And I want to say congratulations on your growth with the company
Thank
as
you.
well. Welcome to South Florida.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's an amazing opportunity that Enterprise offers this to their employees
Yeah.
to work their way up, and I think that adds a lot of value to the future positions that you can have.
For sure.
I do want to ask you, how do you recruit candidates for your internship program?
Yeah, so there's several different ways that we recruit. I would say the number one thing is just be present and be on campus. Like get
Okay.
your voice out there, meet students, shake hands, get to know their interests. That's the number one thing. I'll do anything from like tabling sessions. Career fairs is a huge one. I'm on every school's campus that I work with at least twice a semester for career fairs. And then I've gotten the privilege to luckily partner with some professors at universities. So I'll go in there and do workshops. So one of my more recent ones would be like LinkedIn at the library. So I teach
Okay.
students how to build their professional brand, and we go in there and we build a LinkedIn profile from beginning to end and help them make that first post and really get present and active. So when recruiters are looking, they can start looking at who you are as a professional and what your brand is. Handshake is a huge one. I know a lot of campuses here in South Florida work with Handshake. We post all of our job openings on Handshake. We also post all of like our upcoming events on campus on Handshake. So that's a great way for students to stroll and see where we're going to be next and when we're coming to your campus. Now, what I can tell you is we heavily recruit for the interns specifically on campus. And that's honestly a big reason like why we are so involved in career fairs. Is about 70% of our interns that we hire, if not more, every semester come from me meeting them on campus, which is like an awesome opportunity for them. Because if you don't have those connections to the outside world, you have a chance to, make your best shot, and you have a fair shot at putting yourself out there and showing your interest and hopefully getting hired.
That's amazing.
So when in a student's college career should they start looking for internships?
So that's a great question. I always say the earlier the better. Now, for Enterprise specifically, you do have to be 2 semesters or less out from graduation. So junior summer going into senior year, maybe you can already be a senior. We do a year-round internship, which is the awesome thing for us, is as long as you're 2 semesters less out from graduation, we can hire you in the summer, the spring, the fall. It doesn't matter. But what I always like to tell students, like the earlier the better, because if you come and see me as a freshman and I say, ooh, like you're not quite there yet, but like I see that you're a business student, I see that you're involved on campus and you want to pursue you have a customer service background and I see that you want to pursue sales, come back and speak to me. So we have a follow-up method, of course, like we keep in contact with these students, but I always like to tell them like, hey, you're going to see me on campus a lot throughout your college career. Come back and talk to me. So that way, in 2 years from now, when you're going into your senior year or whatever that is, I can say, hey, like I remember I spoke to you a couple of years ago and this is what you were wanting to pursue. Is this something that you're still wanting to do? Because I think this could be a really good fit for you.
Yeah, there's value in building that relationship.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you and your organization, you would need to be a junior or a senior?
You would need to be going into your senior year. So
Going-
completed your junior year.
Almost completed.
Yes, but I will say like, okay, so if I talk to you and you're in your second semester of your junior year at the spring career fair, that is when I will say, hey, like technically you can do this summer or you can do it in the fall because
Okay.
you're 2 semesters or less out from graduation.
Okay. That's interesting. So when a student comes to you, let's say at that time frame, should they have a package for you, a resume? What kind of things should they,
Sure.
have teed up, ready to go when they're, really actively looking for these internships?
Sure. I'll say even like the freshmen are great about this, like bringing your resume to me at a career fair, but I'm not looking for like a giant packet and I don't need a cover letter on the front. Of course, that's always a plus, right? But I'm not looking for that. What I'm looking for is a current resume. So one that you keep current to now. Like I don't want to see the same one your freshman year as I see your junior year when you're coming to apply. So I would say keeping a current resume is a must. And then LinkedIn. So again, going back to LinkedIn, but like recruiters look at that stuff and we want to see your personality and who you are as a young professional. And if you have like a portfolio link or anything on your LinkedIn or on the bottom of your resume, I do look at that. So I like when people put it on like the bottom right hand corner, I'll go and I'll put in that link and then I can see like what you're working on, what organizations you're involved in and what courses you may have taken that would contribute to the success of your story at Enterprise.
Okay. So it sounds like LinkedIn is almost a must-have presence
Yeah.
for a college student.
Yeah, I would say so. And in today's day and age, like we're so technology heavy now that I think it's important to stay current and put those updates on there. Like I'm active on LinkedIn. I always think of it as like Facebook, but as a professional.
Right.
And so I think it's good that students should have that like updated current and put their involvement on their page with like their student organization or their little successes in a course or whatever that is.
Right.
I like to see that stuff because it makes me know that like you are pushing towards that next thing and you, as a young professional.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely think it's better to start early with getting comfortable with LinkedIn because then when it comes time to start applying for internships or jobs, it's easier to make that leap and to show yourself as a professional rather than start the LinkedIn at the same time that you're applying.
Exactly.
You don't want to do that. But, I want to ask you, what would you say are some common mistakes that students make when applying?
So this one is a little tough for me because I thought about it and I was thinking, I think just the most common mistake is like, maybe you're, in college and, you need an internship to graduate or you're looking to make money over the summer. And so you're just going and you're clicking apply through all the LinkedIn or all the Indeed postings that you see. But I think one thing that could probably be a mistake, and I don't know if it's necessarily a mistake as much as just be careful when you're applying, read those screening questions. So
Okay.
I would say probably 2 out of every 10 internship applications that I see in my screening questions, it'll ask if you're 2 semesters or less out from graduation. And they'll click yes. And then I go to interview them. I'm looking at their resume 5 minutes before I go to interview you. And I'm like, wait, you don't graduate till 2027. I can't interview yet. And then they hop on. And then I feel like, unfortunately, like not only do I feel like I wasted my time, I wasted your time as well. And so
Right.
just that is one thing, just be careful and like thoroughly read what you're applying to. Or in the situation of I'll have people hop on and they're like, oh, I'm not actually trying to pursue sales. well, you applied to a sales job. Like, I'm worried that you didn't read the description and you were just going through. So apply for things that are meaningful to you and make sure that you read the qualifications before you apply. I would say that's probably the most common mistake that I see, at least.
Yeah, like you say, we've seen that in some of the job postings that we've had where you say, why did this person even apply? Because they don't have those questions. They really must not have read them, because
Yeah.
if they had, they wouldn't have taken the time to apply. And like you say, it's a definitely it takes time to go through resumes and do all that.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating on the employer side, I know.
It's I mean, we go through a lot of ups and downs in recruiting. I feel like it's definitely one of the most minor things, but yeah, it's definitely just like I feel bad for them that, they applied and then, they don't qualify yet.
And now you have to break that news.
Yes, and now I have to
unfortunately.
break that news, and they
Right.
got all ready and they had their little suit on in their interview, and I'm like, oh, I feel so
Yeah.
but just, thoroughly reading things as a student and making sure that, you know what you're applying to and what those qualifications are is
Right.
going to be the first hurdle to overcome when you're applying for an internship.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And those are easy to
Catch.
to catch, of course. So I want to ask you about interview qualities. What would you say stands out to you in an interview?
Yeah. So I think the best qualities to have in an interview is obviously dress professional, and communication is going to be the number one thing. Like, how you get your word across and how you get your story and your interest across is the number one thing. I think that quality to have, like, even as you're applying to an internship or in the interview process, is go in there with a resume that you feel comfortable about. So I mean, we're looking for a lot of qualities and we have competencies and everything that we're looking for each candidate to meet, but we're not going to hire anybody that we couldn't see as a future leader of our company. So, for an example, one of the questions that I ask in the interview is, tell me about your proudest team accomplishment. So we are looking for real life examples or scenarios based off your previous experience. So the best interviews that I do are the people that show their qualities and show their examples through their real life experiences that they've had. And that can be in a student organization. That can be, maybe you're a student athlete and you guys won a really awesome soccer game and you talk about all the work that you guys put in and how you overcame those hurdles to get that W. Like, whatever that is to you. And listen, we know this is an entry level job, so we're not expecting you to have 3 years of sales experience or something if you come in here, but we want to know that you know how to lead a team and you're not afraid to take initiative. And if you show that through your stories, that's what separates a really good interview from just a good interview.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
going to say I agree, but go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, Shannon, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I think that brings up, I think, which is another really important point or topic, and that is, the students are coming to you in let's say they're going to be entering in their senior year, but they need to have throughout their freshman, sophomore, and junior years, they've got to start building that resume, right? They've got to participate in activities and organizations and maybe athletics or employment even, where they can cite those kind of accomplishments that you're looking for. If they don't do anything until they get on a Zoom call with you, they're not going to have anything to share.
Right.
And so it's really important to start for college students to really start building that resume the first day that they step on campus and join in organizations or particularly professional organizations, and then try to take leadership roles in them and work your way up in there. And I think that goes a long way to showing future employers or people hiring for internships, that you're serious about this and you've got some experience, some leadership experience. So we really try to encourage our scholars to do that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I was just going to add that I think we have seen the same example in our interviews. When students can back up their qualities with an anecdote, it helps. It helps further the point that they do have those qualities, but it also helps you get to know them better. Just the same as a LinkedIn post, and them being active on LinkedIn helps you get to know them. So I
Yeah.
think those two things are in the same.
Absolutely. It helps you get to understand them as a person more, understand,
Yeah.
like, I guess, more to them than just what you'd want out of an intern. You want to, you want to get to know the people that would work for you. But I feel like that also helps, like, you understand them, and also helps you understand, like, what they would do in that scenario if it translated to enterprise. And that's why we do behavioral based interviewing.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. So, what can a student, once they get an interview from you, what are some of the things that they might do to maximize that opportunity, right?
Yeah.
To get the most out of their internship.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody always asks me, like, okay, like, am I just going to be helping customers on the front end when they start their internship, or when they're, asking about it? The cool thing about our interview process is the second interview is in person. So you get to go meet the team that you'd work with, see exactly what you'd be doing. You get a chance to observe, and then it's followed by an interview to make sure, we want to make sure you're the right fit for us as much as you want to make sure this is the right fit for you, right? And so that's what's cool about our internship process. But once you land the job, I always tell students, like, how can you make the most of it, and how can you not, I guess, quote unquote, prove yourself, but make sure this is right for you, is
Mhm.
ask to do more. Ask what would be after the internship program. So once you get your job down, if you want to learn what we do as managers on the back end, we are more than happy to teach you that. So the cool thing about our internship is it is an exact sneak peek into what you'd be doing after graduation. Our internship program is 3 months long, and our management training program, if you were to join our team, is 8 months long. So if you come back after graduation, the cool thing for us is that you only have 5 more months to go before you're a manager leading a team, helping run an operation, which is pretty cool to say as a pretty fresh college graduate. Like, that would be an awesome opportunity.
It's fast growth.
Yeah. So as an intern, if you learn how to, like, help customers and make an awesome transaction in 1 month, you want to spend those next 2 months starting to learn the back end, which would be, finding the fleet that we need for the day and that sort of thing. We are absolutely more than happy to show you what the bigger picture of enterprise looks like once you get your basic duties down. And I think that's what's cool about enterprise is, like, if you are not growing, I know this sounds a little harsh, but if you're not growing, this is not the place for you. We're definitely one of those companies where, like, as soon as you get something down, we're going to give you a little more. And you get that down, we're going to give you a little more. And so that's why we're structured in that way, is to constantly reach that next step in your career, to not only help the company, but help you in your personal and your professional growth.
Mhm.
And I think that's truly what's so awesome about our program. So if we have an intern, for example, who we actually just hired this summer from Lynn University. And I met him at a career fair, which was awesome. And he came back the next 2 days of the career fair. It was a 3-day career fair. And he came back and he talked to me each day. And he went through the process like every other candidate, and he ended up getting hired. He started his internship, and he loved it. And so same thing, like, he was asking to learn more. And so we taught him that stuff so he could really make sure it was the right fit for him. And at the end of the summer, he said, hey, I really want to join your team full time once I graduate. Like, what can I do to do that? And I said, you're doing awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep taking on more tasks. And you're absolutely going to be able to start a career with us. And so he actually graduates in December. He's staying on this semester while he's finishing. And when he gets done here in December, he only has 5 more months to go before he can become a manager and help run a branch and lead a team. And I think that's so awesome, is to watch, people that I find on campus grow into those roles.
So that kind of was my next question. What are the things that they can do to improve their chances, right? So
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is just try to learn as much as you can, and show you, whoever your supervisor is,
Mhm.
your intention to do that, or at least your willingness to do
Yes.
it, right?
Yes. Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit
No,
on that,
no,
I guess.
No,
But
that's
good.
okay.
yeah, definitely, like, performance is, number one. Like, show that you care, have good interactions with the customers that you help into those vehicles. I feel like building your personal brand is another thing. Like, make it known that you want to be with this company, that you can see yourself growing. People want to work with and for people that have a great attitude every day and give 100% effort every single day. And I think that's the most important thing. and going above and beyond in whatever ways that you can and what you know how. So if a new employee comes into your branch, and even though you're new and you're an intern, there are things that you can teach them. Take them under your wing and show them everything that you know, because that's how you're going to stick out as a leader in 4 or 5 months when we go to, hire the next manager. So that's what's really awesome about our program. Express interest. And then internally here at Enterprise, we have a lot of employee resource groups. So that's another great way to get involved and show your presence with our company.
And what is that? What is the resource group?
Employee resource groups. So internal organizations that we have within Enterprise. So the big one that we have here in South Florida right now is called Energy, and it's a mental health employee resource group.
Okay.
And so we'll get together. We have a giant string of emails, and so there's constant emails. There's events that we host every once in a while. Last year we did a 5K for mental health.
That's
and
awesome.
it's really cool to be involved
Yeah.
in those sorts of things. Like, you meet a lot of other people that you would have never thought that you would meet at Enterprise. I mean, most of the day at Enterprise, if you're working in the daily rental division, you know your branch and maybe a few other branches and the people in that area, but you'd get to meet people from all over our region. So you might work down in Coral Springs, but if you guys are both in this employee resource group, you might meet somebody from Vero. And it's just awesome to start making those connections internally by joining these internal
Right.
groups that we have.
So it's like team building.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah. And it's a chance for people who would have never met because of region, like you say, or departments. That's a chance for them to build those connections.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I was going to ask you, it can be common for someone to make an assumption about an internship program. So what would you say are some common misconceptions students make?
Sure. I think that the biggest misconception, and like the thing that I'm like, at a career fair, if they come up and I'm like giving my spiel, like, we're a program that focuses on customer service, sales, marketing, and you're going to learn the business operations along the way. And they're like, ooh, sales, like, I don't really want to pursue that. I think the most biggest misconception is like, it's not worth it if it's not your dream company or industry that you want to be in. Employers, like, when you graduate, we're going to look for well-rounded candidates that want to take the chance. So personally, as an internship, like, gaining skills outside of your realm is never going to hurt you. It's only going to help you. If
Right.
you want to pursue customer service and you love retail, but you don't want to pursue sales, that's where I'm like, maybe you want to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, because pretty much in every situation that you might work in the field that is customer service also ties sales to it in some way or another. Like, you might be a little shied away or scared because we say that and we're very upfront about it. But if you were to go for something else, like, it's probably going to be similar, just in a different realm. So get out of your comfort zone and take that chance. And the great thing for you is that it's an internship. So if you decide after your 3 months, like, oh, now I know this isn't for me, that's
Yeah.
great. You got the experience
Right.
and you have something to put on your resume. So I think that would be like the biggest misconception that I come across is like, ooh, that's not exactly what I want to pursue. But we have a lot of great things that we can offer, aside from maybe what you're looking for. So if like you want to go into HR, that's great. You can do that just like I did. You just have to go through this 8-month program first. And it feels really rewarding at the end to know that, like, I'm in HR, but I know the ins and outs of how we run our business because I've been there and I've experienced that. So I can relate to the people that I hire that are in the field. So that's like the most rewarding thing about my job is like, we've all been there.
And so from that, we have a lot of first generation students that we serve,
Yeah.
and sometimes they can feel insecure about the fact that they don't come with a lot of pre-existing knowledge or pre-existing contacts to help them get experience in their future field. So what advice would you have for a first gen student?
Yeah. So I actually really like this question because I was one of those people. I'm a first gen college graduate myself, and
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, it's a really awesome feeling, and knowing that like I can, see it on the other side now, and I can be able to help those people. And my number one piece of advice for people who feel like they don't have connections to the industry, which is use the resources that you do have. Like campus advising, that's free for every college student. Handshake, every college student has to build a handshake profile. Employers who work with, universities, they put all of their upcoming events on campus. So look at them and go talk to those people, whether it's Enterprise or another organization. And then I would say this one, like, I know when I was in college, I'd be like, oh, career fair, but like, get out of your comfort zone and go speak to somebody at a career fair because it's not scary. It's just that's you. Like, you get to almost be the job interviewer at a career fair because you get to ask them every question under the world that you want to know about their organization and what they would be doing and what their business is. So
Right.
using those resources and the career fairs, putting yourself out there. And then I would say student organizations would be secondary to that, because student organizations work with a lot of organizations and companies, and they have people come in and speak in their organization as well. Like, I work with a organization at FAU, and so putting yourself out there and getting involved on campus is not only going to be a great resume builder for you, but that's a great way to meet recruiters. So that would be my biggest piece of advice for, people who don't have connections that are looking for an in the industry.
Thank you. I think that's really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much. So you told us a lot about your internship program. Is there anything else you want to share about it?
Yeah. So I know I mentioned this, but we do South Florida does a year-round internship. So spring, fall, and summer. Again, you have to be 2 semesters or less out from graduation. So our internship, if you want to do it in the fall or the spring, it's a 25-hour part-time internship. We work around your school schedule. It pays $18.50 an hour. And you do get a scholarship opportunity. So we have, a scholarship opportunity for both an accounting or a daily rental intern. And if you win that scholarship, you can either apply it to your next semester, or if you're on your way for graduation, it's a nice little scholarship for you to pay off your student loans, I guess. But
It's amazing.
yeah. And then the best part about our internship is if you do well, you pretty much you get an offer to join our team full time once you graduate. And like I mentioned before, you'd have 3 of your 8 months down. So say you want to come back once you graduate, you only have 5 more months to go before you're a business leader, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest part about our internship. But it's not very often that you'll see internships that are paid, have scholarship opportunities, and give you, that time towards what you'd be doing once you graduate.
Well, it sounds like an amazing program. I
It
mean,
does.
I tell you, the infrastructure that you guys have put in place for this internship program is very impressive. And really, I guess what I'm hearing you say is that the best way to get in touch with you, if our listeners are interested, is to attend the college fairs.
Yeah. So there's a few different ways. I'm about to be on campus a lot. I work with 5 different universities in the South Florida region. So Indian River State College, Palm Beach State, Palm Beach Atlantic, Lynn University, and FAU. So on campus, you can always find where I'm going to be on campus on Handshake if you have a Handshake account. Our company posts all of our job openings on Indeed, which is an awesome way because I know that's probably the most common way that students and really anybody is looking for an internship or a job. LinkedIn, we're very active on LinkedIn. And then, of course, you can go to enterprisemobility.com if you are interested in applying or learning more about our program.
Thank
Well,
you for sharing
listen,
that.
we really appreciate you coming, taking the time, especially to tell us about this program, which is probably one of the most impressive internship programs that I've ever heard of. And not only that, it's a very impressive company. And so our listeners, I guess I would thank you on their behalf.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, no, we covered a lot today. Thanks for tuning in to College Compass by experts at scholarship.org. In our next episode, we'll be talking about scholarships. November is National Scholarship Month, and to celebrate that, we're going to give advice on how to find and obtain scholarships. So stay tuned.
In the meantime, you can learn more about us by visiting scholarship.org. You can find us on Instagram and LinkedIn at George Snow Scholarship Fund, and on Facebook, TikTok, and X at Snow Scholarship. And as always, we look forward to guiding you through your educational journey. Thank you.